Hello, good evening, and welcome to Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo to present. Top stories in the news tonight. Mining audit reveals fraudulent operators. MUSA MWENYE, Father CHIKOYA and Laura MITI grab jobs in the UPND administration. Zambians urged to give the UPND more time to deliver development. In international news, Burkina Faso civil groups protest against French military cooperation. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO coach ALJOSA impressed with the national team's performance.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Another news in detail. Daughter to late Dr. Tasila Tembo, Sherin Peters, has testified before the Lusaka High Court that her mother and murder-accused Lieutenant Nigel Mwaba shared a toxic relationship which her mother finally put an end to. This is in a matter in which 33-year-old Army officer Mwaba is accused of murdering famous Dr. Tasila Tembo in 2020 and is said to have dumped her body in Mikango Barracks area. When the matter came up before Judge Wilfred Muma Monday, Ms. Peters narrated that her late mother told her that she had ended her affair with the accused prior to her death as she could not continue with the said relationship. More in this report.
21-year-old Sherin Peters Monday afternoon stood in the witness dock and testified against the man who is alleged to have murdered her mother Tasila Tembo almost a year ago. Testifying in a case in which 33-year-old Zambia Army officer Nigel Mwaba is alleged to have murdered her own mother Dr. Tembo, who is said to have been in a relationship with him at the time, Ms. Peters narrated before Lusaka High Court that when the accused was first introduced to them by their late mother was all loving and caring. Ms. Peters told Judge Wilfred Muma that murder-accused Mwaba, who had moved in with the intention to be their stepfather, suddenly started showing off different behaviors which did not sit well with her. The witness also testified that prior to her death, Dr. Tembo sent her a text message on the 18th of October 2020 informing her that she had ended the relationship with the accused because she felt it was too toxic. This is in a matter in which the Army officer Mwaba stands charged with one count of murder, contrary to Section 200 of the Penal Code, Chapter 87 of the Laws of Zambia. Dr. Tembo's body was discovered in a decomposed state, covered with leaves at a traditional burial site in Nikang Army Training Center in Mikang Barracks area after she went missing on the 24th of October 2020. And another state witness who works at MTN Zambia, Walia Banda, has testified that after officers requested for phone records for the accused person, it indicated that he was in Mikang Barracks on the 24th of October 2020 around 02 hours. The matter has since been adjourned to the 31st of March 2022 for continued trial. Miriam Kemba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
The state has submitted before the Lusaka High Court that government has not implemented any directive that only vaccinated people against COVID-19 should be allowed to access government premises, contrary to allegations made by a Lusaka-based lawyer. This is in a case in which a Lusaka-based lawyer, Kelvin Zimba, has sued Health Minister Sylvia Masebo and the Attorney General before the Lusaka High Court over the directive she gave on the 28th of November 2021 that only vaccinated people against COVID-19 should be allowed to access government premises. However, the Attorney General submits that no such implementation complained about by Mr. Zimba has been done, as they are of futuristic speculative fear than current status. More in this report.
After being sued last year before the Lusaka High Court, together with the Health Minister Silver Masewo, the Attorney General has finally responded to the allegations advanced by a Lusaka-based lawyer, Kelvin Zimba, over the issue that only those vaccinated against COVID-19 should be allowed to access government premises. The state has denied the allegation by Mr. Zimba on ground that there has been no implementation of the said matter complaint and they are of futuristic, speculative fear than current status, as he has not cited any violation that he has suffered as a consequence. In this petition, Mr. Zimba cited the Health Minister Silver Masewo, and the Attorney General has responded and is seeking an order that the minister's pronouncement made on the 28th of November 2021, giving a directive that only those vaccinated against COVID-19 should be allowed to access government building, to be quashed for being unconstitutional. According to the said petition filed in court, Mr. Zimba wants the court to declare that the pronouncement made by the minister on the said date, demanding that all persons entering public buildings and public service workers must be vaccinated against COVID-19 and produce proof of such vaccination, is against Article 13, 19, 21 and 22 of the Constitution, therefore is void and of no effect. He had submitted that the minister's directive are likely to violate his rights guaranteed in Article 13(1) of the Constitution, in that he will be deprived of his personal liberty, as he will not be free to access government buildings and report for work unless he gets vaccinated. However, government in its answer states that Mr. Zimba should show how he has been hindered from freely associating and assembling with others, including members of his profession. Further adding that the pronouncement was made after aspects surrounding the Omicron variant had not been understood, as it was made as an immediate reaction to protect citizens, but another press briefing was made on the 30th of November 2021, at which clarification on the implementation of public health measures were going to be actioned. The state has also told the Lusaka High Court that Mr. Zimba has not produced any evidence of this being implemented. Henceforth, his petition is preemptive and does not reveal a reasonable course of action. Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Local Government Service Commission Chairperson Axon Sejani says the commission will sort out illegalities in local authorities countrywide in response to the President's call to restore sanity in public institutions. Speaking at the Lusaka City Council on Wednesday, where the commission has commenced a human resource audit, Mr. Sejani says the audit will reveal whether allegations of political party cadres being employed during the previous administration are true or not. More in the following report.
Local authorities in Zambia, like in other countries, have many mandates, among them to maintain roads, street lighting, public transportation, and markets, among other functions. In this regard, local authorities are one of the major public institutions in all districts, acting as a center coordinating most activities. Reports arising from the former ruling Patriotic Front administration is that political cadres were employed in these institutions, leading to a high level of unprofessionalism and illegalities. There have also been reports of lack of productivity at these institutions due to overemployment. The Local Government Service Commission, however, says it will conduct a human resource audit in all local authorities, beginning with the Lusaka City Council LCC, to determine if this is true. Speaking during a meeting aimed at commencing the human resource audit on Monday at LCC, Local Government Service Commission Chairperson Mr. Axon Sejani says each member of staff will be required to produce qualifications for the position they hold.
It may be that what we find out here, what we discover, is representative of what is obtained in all the 116 councils in this country. And therefore, as a new commission, we will have a basis for interrogating these matters much further. So it gives us a basis for our next course of action. So we are having these discussions with our friends to establish those things. Depending on what we find here, if we find something Jewish, then we might have the appetite now to commission a full-fledged audit of all the 116 councils in this country so that we have the basis of decision making.
Mr. Senjani adds that the Commission is not in a hurry to conclude the audit, as there is need to ensure that a thorough job is done.
As you might be aware, that in pursuit of the wider decentralization policy, we in the Commission are also embarking on our own decentralization by establishing what are called human resource management committees in all the 116 district councils of our country. These are bodies to whom we are going to delegate some functions that are now the preserve of the Commission, of recruiting personnel. So if that is where we are going, we want to satisfy ourselves that these bodies that are being constituted, they are going to land on good grounds. Because as you are aware, our friends in the local authorities are already employing people of a certain category. So as they are employing those people, we want to satisfy ourselves that already good practices are being practiced here, they are being undertaken. So all that is what has made us come over here to have a chat with our friends. As I said, principally, to do a qualifications audit. Do all the people who qualify, who sit in this office, do they qualify? Do they have the requisite academic and the professional qualifications to occupy these positions?
He, however, says the Commission will mainly focus on human resource, leaving issues of land illegalities to the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources. The Commission has indicated that it will communicate its findings once the audit is concluded. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The National Development Coordinating Committee, NDCC, has begun the process of validating the draft 8th National Development Plan in Lusaka. Zambia bases its development growth on a 5-year plan, of which the 7th National Development Plan expired in 2021, having been launched in 2016. Acting Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, says once the committee endorses the draft 8 NDP, it will be submitted to Cabinet and Parliament for approval as prescribed in the National Planning and Budgeting Act No. 1 of 2020. And Finance Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane says the success of the 8 NDP will depend on the resolution of binding constraints and the implementation of key reforms to be undertaken in the planned period. More in this report.
The delay by the former Patriotic Front administration to complete the 8th National Development Plan has seen the United Party for National Development administration formulate the 2022 national budget with only a draft of the 8th NDP. This brought about a lot of debate in Parliament from the opposition members who questioned what plan the 2022 national budget has been based on. To ensure that the plan is fully constituted, the National Development Coordinating Committee NDCC has begun the process of validating the draft 8th NDP in Lusaka. And speaking at the validation meeting held at Molongoshi Conference Center, Secretary to the Treasury Felix Nkulukusa says various processes of consultation from the lowest decision-making bodies, the ward development committees have been undertaken to get to the point where a draft has been tabled before the committee.
This plan is approved. The national implementation plan, whose development is already underway, will be finalized and launched together with the plan, with this plan. It is also expected that the provincial and district implementation plans, as well as the institutional strategic and implementation plans, will be developed in line with the objectives, strategies, and programs contained in the 8th National Development Plan.
Meanwhile, Acting Secretary to Cabinet Patrick Kangwa, who represented the Finance Minister Stumbeko Msokotwane, says the success of the 8th NDP will depend on the resolution of binding constraints and the implementation of key reforms to be undertaken in the planned period.
In the meantime, we have had thousands of youths trained in areas such as education remaining unemployed. This is part of our unemployment story. Interventions during the 8th National Development Plan period, therefore, will focus on increasing access to and improving the quality of education. This includes, at higher levels, where training should be targeted at skills required by the private sector. The enhancement of health services and water and sanitation, as well as social protection that is well targeted, will be the focus.
And Cooperating Partner Group also spoke to the importance of ensuring that the 8th NDP is put in place.
Analyzing and systematically addressing the root causes for Zambia's debt and governance crisis, as well as enduring poverty and inequality, must be the starting point for the 8th NDP implementation. In that respect, the risk management section of the plan is an important innovation and hopefully will become an effective tool to address misuse of funds.
The National Developmental Plan is principally a policy document that outlines the government's desired developmental outcomes as well as the accompanying strategies and programs. The 7th NDP was prepared under the leadership of President Edgar Lungu in 2017, which came to an end in 2021. This entailed that a new plan was supposed to be put in place before the 2022 national budget was presented, a process which was delayed. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Minister of Mines and Minerals Development, Paul Kaboswe, says the initial audit findings conducted on the mining sector have revealed that some firms in the system with mining rights are not registered with PACRA. Mr. Kaboswe has described this conduct as fraud and corruption, making government lose revenue. And the minister says the audit has also revealed that some companies own too many mining rights, using either a single or multiple companies with the same beneficial owners. The ministry will in this regard clean up the system through a process of Know Your Customer KYC aimed at improving the system's integrity. More in the following report.
Mining is a major economic sector in the country, contributing significantly to Zambian government revenue, mainly through mining royalties and VAT. Since the United Party for National Development Administration assumed office after the 12th August 2021 general elections, allegations of fraud and corruption characterizing the mining sector have been the talk of the day. To prove these allegations, Ministry of Mines and Mineral Development undertook a process audit and business process re-engineering at the Ministry Cadastral Department. Minister of Mines Paul Kaboswe Monday morning updated the media on the outcomes of the audit, which have revealed too many irregularities. Among them is that some firms on the system with mining rights have never been registered with PACRA.
A feature which is so disappointing and at the same time worrying for me is the fact that we have discovered companies which are not yet registered with PACRA, but yet they have a license. How they got a license without PACRA documents, nobody knows, but as a ministry, we'll get to the bottom of this. This is a serious source of fraud and corruption, and it's unacceptable. We cannot allow that.
The minister also says the audit has indicated that some companies own too many mining rights, using either a single or multiple companies with the same beneficial owner, which has ended up promoting speculations in the mining sector instead of investment.
I've confirmed the fears and the statements that I've made in the past that we have people that are owning more than 40, 50 licenses alone. Now, these companies have been using either a single or multiple companies, different companies, where they've been hiding these licenses so that we don't know that it's this person, but the audit has actually exposed that.
The audit has also revealed that the Ministry of Mines from as far as 2008 identified 40 tenements that were reserved for use by the government for investment in the mining sector, which have never been advertised.
One of the issues is that we were not aware that we have actually 40 bidding areas as far back as 2008, where key tenements have been identified and they were preserved for use by government for investment in the mining sector. The real intention was, with such areas locked off in the country, was that we need to now invite serious investors to come and bid. This was a discovery also.
cleaning up of the mining sector will open up room for more genuine investment. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
President Hakainde Hichilema has appointed Laura MITI and Christian Chama as Human Rights Commission commissioners. President Hichilema has also appointed Dr. Pamela Sambo as Human Rights Commission Vice Chairperson, while Dr. Madford Mwandenga's contract as Commission Chairperson has been renewed. The appointments and renewal are in exercise of the power vested in the President pursuant to Section 5, Cap 2 and 7 respectively of the Human Rights Commission Act, Chapter 48 of the laws of Zambia. Meanwhile, President Hichilema has appointed, subject to ratification, MUSA MWENYE State Council as Anti-Corruption Commission Board Chairperson, alongside Dr. Aubrey Nkaba and Irene Lamba as commissioners. Presidential spokesperson Anthony Walia has emphasized that the pain that will come with the anticipated high cost of living will be in the short term and is the foundation needed for building a much more stable, sustainable and productive economy for all. Mr. Walia says President Hakainde Hichilema understands citizens' apprehension and anxiety regarding the possible upsurge in the cost of living arising from the turmoil around global oil prices. He says the government is conversant with the fact that any adverse changes in international oil prices will have a negative effect on local fuel prices and consequently impact negatively on the welfare of citizens. He notes that the country is coming from a legacy where people were made to believe that expensive debt-driven subsidies would forever keep fuel prices low. He has told Camnet News that subsidies were not only unsustainable, but were also hurting the government's ability to create jobs, provide education, health, social protection, and pensions to its people.
That is why this new administration has made and will continue to make some very bold decisions targeted at building long-term economic resilience through job creation, skills development for our youth, as well as expansion of social protection support for those who need support in that area the most. I think it's also important for us to stress that the new administration is continuing to actively pursue the utilization of country-to-country collaborations as a way of mitigating disruptive cycles in the supply and pricing of fuel in the medium to long term, and obviously better protect the welfare of citizens.
New Congress Party President Peter Chanda has implored Zambians to give the United Party for National Development enough time to fulfill its campaign promises. Mr. Chanda notes that some promises, such as the free education policy, are coming to fruition, and it will be illogical for people to expect comprehensive development overnight. He has told Camnet TV News that the major promise that needs to be fulfilled is reducing the high cost of living by reintroducing subsidies on essential commodities. Mr. Chanda adds that the governing UPND's performance will be assessed 3 months before the 2026 general election. More in this report.
The United Party for National Development government has been facing pressure from a cross-section of society, with the people expecting the fulfillment of various campaign promises as soon as yesterday. But President Hakainde Hichilema and his administration have been emphasizing on the need to get the economic fundamentals right, whilst implementing the 2022 national budget, with debt being a major matter of concern which continues to hinder economic growth. And recently, Botswana's former president Ian Khama mediated for President Hichilema during the funeral of Zambia's fourth Republican president, Rupia Banda.
You are the best man during these challenging times to lead your nation, Zambia, through this. I hope the people of Zambia will be patient whilst you steer your country and people through this difficult period that is not of your making.
New Congress Party President Peter Chanda, who was known to be a Patriotic Front sympathizer and a critic of the UPND, says President Hichilema and his team need more time to fulfill all campaign pledges.
When you usher in a new government, don't expect changes to be done immediately, because they have a time that they have to live in the office to learn the art and understand how to run government. President Hakainde Hichilema entered into office, into public office for the first time. So is a lot of permanent secretaries and a lot of ministers. Many ministers, it is their first time. It is only maybe 4 ministers that we can say. I honor the vice president was in government before, the Minister of Lands, the Minister of Health, and the 2 others who were previously in government, who understand how to run government. But the rest, they are doing job on training. So to weigh the 6 months and to dictate, to say they failed, I want to state that the perimeter will be scored 3 months before the general election.
In the meantime, the cost of living, as measured by the Jesuit Center for Theological Reflection, JCTR, basic needs and nutritional basket for Lusaka, stood at 9.3 thousand for the month of February 2022, and Mr. Chanda urges the UPND government to reduce the high cost of living.
The Zambian people were promised 14 hours after being sworn in, by 10 hours after being sworn in, by 14 hours the kwacha will appreciate. That has not been achieved. The Zambian people were promised free education. That has been achieved. The other promises that are very fundamental to the Zambian people, and that is reducing the cost of living, reducing the fuel, reducing other essential commodities, that has not been achieved. And this is something that we can be able to say sits in the hearts of the people as a time bomb. My prayer is the UPND government should immediately address, lest if we are able to reintroduce the subsidy to cushion the pains and suffering that the people are doing, let's do that.
While Zambians may need to be patient, well, constant reminders of their campaign promises remain vital in achieving the desired outcome. Patrick Soko, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
Democratic Party President Harry Kalaba says political parties should focus on selling their messages to voters during election campaigns, unlike hosting what he has termed as staged defections in an attempt to woo electorates. In a walk-in interview, Mr. Kalaba says it is concerning that some DP parliamentary candidates who participated in the 12th August 2021 general elections and defected 7 months ago were on Sunday being displayed as new defectors by the United Party for National Development UPND in Mongu district ahead of the 4th mayoral by-elections. 3 political parties, among them the UPND, are participating in the by-elections slated for the 14th of April 2022, following the demise of UPND Mayor Mr. Nyambe Matakala in an accident earlier this year.
Look, I think we saw the defections in Mongu. Congratulations to the UPND for the members that joined them, but I think it goes without saying that for us as DP, we saw those numbers, like the former MP, the former candidate of ours in parliamentary elections in Alolo, as well as the parliamentary candidate for Kalabo. I think those resigned just 7 months after, just after we didn't win the elections. They also stopped. The only one that we saw that defected yesterday was the one who stood in Liua. That's the one we can say, yes, defected. But the rest have already gone. They went just the time that government stopped buying medicines in our hospitals. That's when even those people defected to UPND. So that was politics and nothing but politics.
The Drug Enforcement Commission Director General Mary Chirwa says despite Zambia recording many cases of drug and substance abuse by many people, especially the youths, the fight has not been lost. Speaking at a book launch written by Michael Mulusa, Ms. Chirwa notes that the Commission has dealt with many young people in helping them stop substance abuse. She says the problem of drug abuse is no respecter of individuals, hence the need for concerted efforts to fight the vice. Meanwhile, Michael Mulusa, author of the book and a former drug addict, hopes the book could help others facing similar situations to reform. More in this report.
Drug abuse-related cases among SA young people are always hitting record high annually. The Drug Enforcement Commission, whose mandate is aimed at preventing, controlling trafficking and abuse of narcotic drugs, psychotropic substances and money laundering activities, show worrying statistics each year. In 2021, the Commission arrested a total of 3,893 persons, comprising 3,634 males, 259 females, of which 267 were juveniles and 85 foreign nationals. Drugs such as cannabis, cocaine, codeine are commonly abused. Many factors are said to cause these, such as family breakdown, among other reasons. Michael Mulusa, a survivor of drug abuse, documented his journey in a book titled Lungs of Steel, aimed at helping other young people avoid drug abuse.
This is a book about my autobiography, about my experience with substance abuse and the various challenges I faced and overcame. What inspired me to write this book is because I had escaped a prison, a penitentiary, and I realized that a lot of my friends are in it. So in order to offer solutions and to give back help, I thought that this book would be of help, because I know exactly how there was a slim chance between death. So I didn't want that experience for my fellow youths, and I wrote this book that it can be a pathway for them.
And Movement for Democratic Change MDC Secretary General Lucky Mulusa, father to the author, says there is need for stiffer punishment to be meted in order to curb drug abuse.
We will forever be indebted to all those who contributed to this turnaround in our child's life. Where I hope had drifted into despair, and giving up and disowning a child became an unfortunate option. Help came unexpectedly. Your story give hope to families passing through these challenges and help many other children afflicted by this scourge find solace in positive change. Michael, this solace through this book is found in Habakkuk 2 verse 2. The Lord tells us, write your vision on a clay of stone, so that even a passersby in a hurry may read and know where you stand. With this book, no previous friend of yours will come with drugs to visit you, because your vision is written.
Meanwhile, the Drug Enforcement Commission Director General Mary Chira says the fight against drug and substance abuse requires concerted efforts to win.
Look around your family. No matter how rich or poor you are, how famous or unpopular, how dignified or not, the problem of drug abuse can affect you and your family, and it is affecting many in our midst. The Drug Enforcement Commission, through the Education and Counseling Department, has been attending to people that are addicted to drugs and other substances, and we have been offering free counseling to such people.
Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News, Lusaka.
This is Camnet TV Main News. We'll take our first commercial break. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Savenda. Save nations, develop Africa. Connecting African countries to each other and connecting the African continent to the world. This logistics and global supply chain management group offers end-to-end solutions across all sectors of the economy: agriculture, energy, telecommunications, finance, construction, transportation, and insurance. And now, its initiatives are greener than ever, operating in line with government guidelines and working to provide energy security for Zambia and beyond. 25 companies united under one group and one vision. Savenda. Trade and logistics made easy.
Team, the trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the...
She has so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
Camnet TV is becoming big and better. You can now watch Camnet TV wherever you are around the world, simply by downloading the Camnet TV app. With Camnet TV app, you only use less bundles. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. Pressure has continued to mount on the Zambian Lotto Limited as former agents continue lodging at the premises demanding for terminal benefits. Protesters have told Camnet News that contrary to what the company assured, Zambians they have not addressed them when initially it was agreed to a meeting be held Monday, March 28, 2022. On Friday, March 25, 2022, the company's corporate manager, Majed El Shahar, scheduled for Monday as the day the company will give its official position, but efforts to get a comment proved futile. More in the following report.
Since the announcement of its closure, pressures continued to mount on Zambian Lotto Limited as former agents continue lodging at the premises demanding for terminal benefits. They have vowed not to move an inch until they are addressed by management.
We make a meeting, we talk and they give us our benefits. But these people have refused. They're saying that we don't know you. In fact, the agents are just 50. They're just giving excuses. We are told to come, we'll see the CEO on Monday. But today we've come, we've been here from morning, we're just waiting outside. There is nothing that is happening.
Because abantu bakana no attend bakana banatuza pamanda tukabwere kuno batero bakana no attend. So manje abantu abani bakawola sibafulika nonkala mu kyalo kyatu government wapapata isema youth tunashita decide this tufuna change mu kyalo kyatu ma corruption ya kilamu
ona mina basiya abantu bakampani bakambati you are just wasting my time nibeva kuuze nipalimo so just go, you are just wasting your time. Mayeshi ni bantu babwanja kuti tezopangira ndrama mushemushe tezopa suppose bamezofuna if without us companies musana running because if tezoka 05 na June yonse.
On Friday, March 25, 2022, the company's corporate manager Majid El Shah scheduled for Monday as the day the company will give its official position.
I just want to inform you that the CEO for Zambian Lotto will arrive on Monday, and for any more clarifications, you are free to come and communicate with him.
But at the turn of events, the company shuts its door. This journalist could only be handled by security personnel who later revealed that the company could not hold a meeting.
Some reporters from ZBS, they were here. They were full girls who were here. They have captured them, they have done what they have done, they have understood, they have gone back. We had 2 vehicles here before you came in.
Today?
Yeah, today, yes. They were here outside here, plenty of them. Yes, we'll be here, sir.
And you're sure as a security
I'm sure I'm here. I'm the in charge of security, I'll bring you. Yes, the same man will be here.
But to these former workers, this matter is far from ending. Alex Shumba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
Commerce, Trade and Industry Minister Chipoka Molenga says the 94th Agriculture and Commercial Show will be unique and provide the country with reflect on enhanced productivity to support the local economy and beyond. The show, which will run from the 27th July to the 1st of August 2022, will take place this year after being postponed for 2 years due to the COVID-19 pandemic under the theme, Innovation through technology transforms businesses. And Mr. Mulenga tells Camnet News that this year's show will provide the biggest one-stop platform for showcasing products and services, innovations and opportunities for information sharing, exchange of ideas to the challenges affecting the nation.
Investors in this country, but an event that also gives market portfolio for Zambians into the regional market as well as the outside market. So it's not just going to be an annual event where we show what we've been farming, how we are farming it. We are focusing on improved production to sustain the local and regional market. And how do we improve this local market? There should be investment in doing it. Diversification from mining into agriculture has just been a song in this country. But we want to make it a reality now. So this agriculture and commercial show is not something that we're just going to do like we've always done. It's going to be at a very larger scale where we're going to not only market within the country but within the region and outside, where we're going to invest heavily in increased production. Thank you very much.
Some marketeers of Lusaka's Kamala market have appealed to government and various stakeholders to look into their plight by introducing financial support programs that will boost their businesses. In an interview, the traders say schemes such as the recently launched funeral cover policy is a welcome move, describing it as a cost burden relief. Meanwhile, market chairman Chileshe says the response from the marketeers is overwhelming, adding that there is therefore need for robust financial education among traders. On March 23, 2022, Zanamaka, in conjunction with other corporate entities, launched a funeral policy and data capture in the informal sector, an initiative aimed at alleviating the livelihood of the marketeers across the country. More in the following report.
According to available statistics, the total number of marketeers and other traders in Zambia currently stand at 3.8 million, trading in slightly over 3,700 gazetted markets and other trading places. These numbers project the fact that the informal sector has a huge role to play in growing the national economy, given its huge population. On 23rd of March 2022, the Zambia National Marketeers Credit Association Zanamaka launched the funeral policy and data capture project. The rollout program is set to provide marketeers with suitable funeral policies as well as online data capture aimed on empowering marketeers socially and economically. Monday, some marketeers of Lusaka's Kamwala market have commended the initiative.
Because it will be helpful to each one of us in an event that one of our loved ones dies, meaning that the insurance will come in and help.
But tipempa kulive kutiwa chitire boost business yatu ikule through mu varieties atenga ma loans yatu nasiriza so tiembekeza vonse tiembekeza kutiwa tipasi vonse tinasiriza malisiti yonse tilinayo
market because tatwa fimona po ifya kuchitika twala kwata benefit kulusana especially nga twasende mpiyeshi. It's more like which time power ni empowerment because the interested pamurino no sana.
They have since appealed to government and various stakeholders to look into their plight by introducing financial programs that will boost their business.
Our appeal to government is that they should continue helping us with the capitals, because in Zambia employment is very hard to find, but 3/4 of us, we are marketeers, so all we need is capital.
Meanwhile, market chairman Chileshe says that the response from marketeers is overwhelming, adding that there is need for robust financial education among traders.
It's easy to deal with the government, so we see that the government is interested to work with us marketeers this time around. We've been neglected from time immemorial, but this time around it seems there is political will and support that we move together with the government of the day. And His Excellency Mr. Hakainde Hichilema has always mentioned that he wants to support the informal sector, and this is the direction that we want to take as marketeers.
It is hoped that marketeers across the country will now have access to such initiatives going forward. Alex Shimba, Camnet News, in Lusaka.
Mobile money operators in Lusaka have expressed concern that the increase in mobile money fraud is negatively affecting their business. Mobile money operator Jack Siyunda and others who spoke to Camnet News say the mobile money business has become a risky venture because some unscrupulous individuals have developed various techniques of swindling them. They say if left unchecked, the trend may undermine the growth of the sector. More in this report.
For many years, financial inclusion was a major challenge globally due to high costs involved. To offer financial services, premises had to be constructed, new employees recruited, and significant capital investment made. Financial institutions concentrated on high-value consumers that produced large revenues. However, the introduction of mobile telecommunications and later the adoption of mobile phones to provide financial services changed the dynamics of the industry. Despite this initiative, mobile money agents in Zambia do not feel safe as they are mostly swindled by unsuspected individuals. Camnet TV took time and interviewed some who were swindled.
Well, agent services, we have faced a lot of challenges due to those people who steal money from us, most of us agents. Example, maybe you just forward you a message. And here sometimes you won't even concentrate on that message as you give the money, but wow, it's a forwarded message. That's sometimes the way we lose money. Other ways, maybe you deposit the money for somebody, but that's where maybe we make a mistake. You deposit the money for somebody while you haven't collected the money.
They explained to this reporter how mobile money transactions can pose as a risk of losing money.
After someone just come say, I want to deposit the money. Then after depositing that money, it was 2,200. After depositing that person, I don't know actually what, I don't know how I get confused. That person said, I want to get the money. That's how that person went, and that one actually was my trusted customer. Then from there again, I used to welcome different customers. Sometimes you can find someone can come to say, I want maybe I want to withdraw.
They have since called on government to move in and bring the culprits to book.
The message of Pesagaguti message siri pachani pachi. When it is too late, nishuja mundu achitapuanji aenda. Sometimes they will come, maybe bazakwena bali batatu or babiri, bazafuna oziba amount yeuli nayo mukati muputhi, or how much are you working with it. So wakapeza kuchukua na amount ikulu, they will make plans. Maybe pali bacha batatu bazangala umuza zangala na plani bakuchita so as a result uzapeza kakuti maybe ni deposit ofuna chawi deposit bazachita deposit ukalipo tenga ndrama video ndoko that bazapeza kakuti maybe ngatwachita deposit maybe 5 pin bazika curator then bachosamo
26 February 2022, government expressed concern over huge sums of money stolen from unsuspecting citizens by online scammers and mobile money fraudsters. Blessings Chakwila, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Join us after the break for international and sports news.
We welcome you to the wonderful world of Savenda Electronics.
At Savenda Electronics, we pride ourselves in manufacturing high-quality electricity and water meters.
Boasting of the first of its kind state-of-the-art manufacturing plant in Zambia, Savenda Electronics manufactures customized smart electricity and water meters of international standards for both the local and international water and electricity utility companies. Our highly computerized factory, run by qualified staff, makes, calibrates, and electronically tests the smart meters to ensure only those meeting customer specifications are delivered to the market. Some of the main features which come with our meters includes notifications about low units, tempering, low battery, and many more customized features. Savenda Electronics provides on and off-site after-sales service and has favorable contract terms for water and electricity utility companies. Savenda Electronics, the real deal.
Your skin is the biggest muscle in your body. That's why we make sure that Oracle is #1 when it comes to taking care of your precious skin. Oracle Pure Petroleum Jelly and Glycerin soothes, moisturizes, and keeps your skin perfect. Oracle Pure Petroleum products for that perfect skin.
Do you have an extra car? Then make yourself extra money. We would like to put that car, yes, that car parked there, to good use to make you extra money on the side just through its service while keeping it safe and secure. Call 0765 02 3883 to register your vehicle with us today. Delpo Services. Service beyond satisfaction.
Welcome back. And now in international news, a coalition of Burkina Faso civil society organizations composed of more than 72 members have held a rally to call for the termination of military cooperation with France. At a press conference, the Unification Bureau called on the new Burkina Faso authorities to end French military cooperation. In other news, China's largest city and financial hub, Shanghai, is going into lockdown. It is happening in two phases to carry out a citywide COVID-19 mass testing. The lockdown is China's most extensive one since it first happened in Wuhan 2 years ago. For more in international news, here's a roundup.
A coalition of Burkina Faso civil society organizations composed of more than 72 members held a rally to call for the termination of military cooperation with France. The coalition called on the new Burkina Faso authority to end French military cooperation in favor of Russian support to curb terrorism in the country. We contest the installation of foreign armed forces that no longer deserve our trust on our soil. We demand the cancellation of the colonial agreements that have kept us in stalemate for years. For years, France, our colonizers, has been in Burkina Faso believing that it is fighting to defend our interests, but it is the opposite. France is in Burkina Faso to plunder our wealth and also creating terrorism by supplying arms to the terrorists, and it is these same terrorists who are fighting our soldiers on the front line. In recent months, Russia has been making inroads to several African countries through its private security firm, Wagner, with an aim of stabilizing security in the rebel and jihadist hit nations like Central African Republic and Mali. But we take into account Russia because in the whole world, it is Russia that has worked positively to remove the terrorist hydra in Syria, Venezuela, Central African Republic, and neighboring Mali, where we see positive progress. The coalition, also known as Lasso Lagam Tabazaka in local language, bring together several civil society organizations according to its leaders and was created in the aftermath of the January 24 coup against President Christian Kabore. Benin's President Patrice Talon has been appointed the head of the West African Economic and Monetary Union, also known as WAEMU. The announcement was made by Benin's Foreign Minister Aurelio Abenonchi during a press briefing in Cotonou. Talon's appointment was agreed upon on Friday by heads of respective member states during a joint ECOWAS and WAEMU summit in Accra. Talon takes over from Christian Kabore, a former head of state of Burkina Faso overthrown in January 2022 by a military coup. Speaking about his appointment, Benin's foreign minister stated that they had also requested its Minister of Economic and Finance to also head the Ministerial Council of the Union. This, according to Benin, will improve cohesion and also speed up initiatives by the Union. This is the first time that the President of Benin has assumed the presidency of the sub-regional institution. He will take office in 1 month during a virtual summit.
In a Shanghai supermarket, two men get into a fight while shopping for last-minute supplies. Tensions are high since the announcement of a phased COVID-19 lockdown, the first ever imposed in the Chinese commercial center. From Monday, those living in the eastern and southern parts of the city are being forced to stay home. Public transport has been suspended and mass testing has begun. The lockdown will be lifted on Friday, when the same restrictions will be applied to the other half of the city. Earlier this month, authorities reassured the public there would be no mass shutdown in Shanghai, but infections of the highly contagious Omicron variant continued to rise.
We have detected many infections after several rounds of screening, so the situation we're facing is severe and complicated.
The city has documented more than 10,000 cases in recent weeks. Most of those infected have mild symptoms or none at all. But officials are determined to maintain what they call a dynamic zero-COVID strategy. Shanghai is China's main financial center, and heavy restrictions are likely to impact the country's economic growth. The city is home to 25 million people and is also where the headquarters of many Chinese companies are located. Chinese stocks have fallen at the news. The city's shipping port remains open, but some factories, including Tesla, the electric car manufacturer, have temporarily suspended operations.
The biggest impact is on the consumer confidence. The income growth has already collapsed since the start of 2022. And now the unemployment in the city services sector and the retail sector is quite widespread. The market confidence is quite low.
Authorities say food delivery supplies are adequate and medical facilities will remain open for those needing urgent care. But some have complained about the poor management of lockdown restrictions. On Wednesday, a Shanghai nurse died from an asthma attack after the emergency department of her hospital was closed for disinfection. Katrina Yu, Al Jazeera, Beijing.
Let's now have some sports news. Now, CHIPOLOPOLO coach ALJOSA says he is not impressed with the results by the senior national team in the international friendly games so far, but he is impressed with the performance. ASANOVIC says the boys' connection on the pitch has greatly improved, stating that there is a very good transition. ASANOVIC adds that players are able to communicate effectively on the pitch and are able to make good passes towards each other.
I'm not happy about the result, but I'm happy about what I see and how we are start to play, how we have the good connection between the line. I saw the very good transition between the line. I saw the good passes. We created so many chances, but you know, sometimes you are not lucky to score. We consider two goals. Maybe reaction of our team is not be good, but boys, we are continue. I'm so optimistic about what I see and how we are training here. We are not too much time to prepare everything. Don't forget we are playing second game after 36 hours. You know, for the players is not easy. But
to end Camnet TV main news, the top stories once again. Mining audit reveals fraudulent operators. MWENYE, Father CHIKOYA and Laura MITI grab jobs in the UPND administration. Zambians urged to give the UPND more time to deliver development. And in international news, Burkina Faso civil groups protest against French military cooperation. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO coach ASANOVIC impressed with the national team's performance. We now look at the Camnet verse of the day, which is coming from Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not rely on your own understanding. Think about him in all your ways and he will guide you on the right paths. Thank you for watching Camnet TV Main News. My name is Jeffrey Ziambo and have a lovely good night.